Why is it that second you see a Rolex or open the door of Mercedes, you instantly feel like it's a premium, before you even know the price, before you know the space? That's not an accident. This brand studied the human psychology and spent millions of dollars to plant that exact feeling in your brain. And today I am going to show you how I applied the same principle on a real ad account on Facebook with a normal budget, not a millions, and we achieved 98% growth in a year. In 1915, a guy named Claude Hopkins, he was one of the most famous ad men in America. A friend of him came to him and said, I have got a toothpaste called Pepsodent and I want you to market this and sell it. Hopkins at the first said no. But why? Because back then, less than 7% of Americans was brush their teeth, and totally in general, no one was brushing their teeth. It wasn't a habit at that time. It wasn't a priority, nobody cared about it. A lot of companies tried before him and they failed. But Hopkins didn't give up. He started reading a dental book until he found something so simple. Every human has thin natural film that forms on their teeth. Not a serious health problem, just something you can feel it in your tongue. So he wrote an ad that told people, run your tongue across your teeth. Feel that film. That's what making your teeth look dull. Within days, millions of people were running their tongues over their teeth just because someone told them to. But that's only a half of the story, because if people just felt the problem, they brush once and they forget about it. Hopkins knew he needed to give them a reward they could feel instantly, so they would come back every day and every single day. So Pepsodent's formula include a little mint oil and citric acid, not because cleaned better, just because it left tingling, fresh feeling right after brushing. That tingle became in people's mind that proved their mouth was clean. If someone woke up and didn't feel it, they felt like their mouth was still dirty and rushed to brush again, just to get that feeling again. Within 3 weeks, then launching his campaign, demand for Pepsodents doubled, from less than 7% from America brushing their teeth until 65% within a few years. Pepsodent became the master of selling toothpaste in the world at that decade. Hopkins didn't sell toothbrush, or he didn't sell a toothpaste. He sold a feeling, a cue that reminds you and reward that brings you back. Hopkins has been dead for a long time, but the principle that used is still exactly the same today and also same power. A few months ago, I had a client who sells a perfume, and the product wasn't the problem. The product was exactly perfect. The problem was the ad kept talking about the scent, the quality, the ingredients, everything except one thing that actually makes someone buy the perfume. I asked myself the exact same question Hopkins asked. Not what do I want to say about the product, what's the daily cue, and what's the reward that brings them back every day in the morning. And actually I found it. The day is not complete until your presence is. This is not a line about the scent. This is about the cue every morning. The moment you spray the perfume, it reminds you that the day still is not finished, and the reward, that feeling, the presence and the confidence instantly. The second you spray that perfume, exactly like the tingle after brushing. Let me show you what happened when this line went live in that account. Our ROAS was 5, meaning every dollar you spent, you win $5. But the ROAS is a platform number. Here's the business number. This graph store sales over a full year, 98% growth over a whole year. Not a short campaign that spiked and disappeared. A full year and the curve just kept climbing. Why? Because the perfume didn't change, the quality didn't change, and also the price didn't change. What only changed is how we sell that product and how we was talking about that product. We didn't say a perfume that smell good. We said your day is not complete until your presence is. Every morning, the moment you sprayed that perfume became the cue, and the confidence they felt instantly became the reward, exactly like Hopkins 100 years ago. The only difference, he used it on a toothpaste, we use it in a perfume. The principle has not changed since 1915. Mercedes did the same thing in a completely different way. Since 2013, the S-Class has had a system called Air Balance. It released a custom, very light scent, the whole drive. Why does that matter? Because Mercedes didn't tell you our car is luxurious and stop there. They made you feel the luxury through the smell. Every time you open the door, there is a small cue, a distant scent tied only to them, and the reward, a feeling of a luxury you cannot fully explain in a word, but you feel it instantly. Same principle, completely different platform. Hopkins used the tone. We used the smell for the perfume. Mercedes also used the smell for their car. The sense changed, the principle stays same. And go to Lego. Lego has had the same number on every box for decades. 4299. A fixed number never moved for decades. A few months ago, when Sir David, the famous British broadcaster, turned to 100 years old, Lego company, instead of ignoring the moment, Lego decided to do something, actually something cool. They post a single photo just to celebrate with the Sir David, and they changed the number from 4 to 99 to 100 plus. But here is what matters. This wasn't a permanent change to the product, not a new marketing decision. One celebrate post for one occasion, and that was it. And that's exactly the point. Even when Lego wanted to break the most famous number in the company history, they didn't break it permanently. They broke it for one moment and one clean reason, and then went right back to their identity. Constancy doesn't mean you never move. It means even when you move on purpose and come back to your place. And to the last example, Rolex. Rolex doesn't run a discount, increase the production when demand goes up, doesn't advertise to anyone and everywhere. And that's not because they cannot. It's a deliberate decision, because if Rolex end up on everyone's wrist, it would lose a half of the value in that moment. The scarcity itself is what makes watch worth. I run the same principle on my own business. I don't take 100 clients, I only take a certain amount of client, around 8 to 10 clients. That's not because I cannot. That's because I want to give each client and each ad account the same level of work, just to show that 5 ROAS and 89% of growth full year. I protect my work, so I never stretch left and right. This is not marketing theory, this is the same principle we have been talking about since this video start. The biggest brand don't grow randomly, they grow on purpose and they stay inside the clean and the clear limits. So let me be straight with you. Everything I talked about today, Hopkins, Mercedes, Lego, Rolex, is not just a theory. These are the same exact principle we apply every day on our real accounts. So if your brand keeps talking about quality and feature and the number and it didn't move, there is a good chance the problem is not the product. The product is nobody's found the cue and the reward that brings them back to you. So if you are spending 5,000 on an account, we will be so happy to work with you and cooperate with you. And we will do a free audit for 30 minutes. We open your account live, show you exactly where is the problem and tell you honestly whether it's worth it or no. This is not a sale call, and the link for the meeting in the description. And also subscribe my channel and like my video and support me. And thank you and see you in the next video.